Before we rise, I'd like to say that this is this Saturday, December 6th, it's the 36th anniversary of a terrible tragedy in our country when 14 young women were killed at École Polytechnique in Montreal. And it's hard to believe it's 36 years gone by already. But so this Saturday will be a National Day of Remembrance and Action for Violence Against Women. And the "and" action is really important because this hasn't stopped. We may not have had any events as large as that, but we still lose a lot of women on a regular basis in this province and in this country. So anybody that has a mother, a sister, a daughter, a granddaughter, which affects just about all of us, we know that and we think about that. We try to put that to our mind, but it's very true. So please remember those who were killed 36 years ago, and remember all those who are suffering today as we stand to have a moment of silence to pray, or as you wish. So we may better be able to do the business of the county this evening. Thank you. Oops. At this point, I would like to acknowledge that we're on the ancestral lands of the Mi'kmaq people, and we would like to thank the Mi'kmaq people of today for all the help they gave to our ancestors on these beautiful lands in Pictou County, whether we came 400 years ago or 4 years ago. We are all treaty people. And at this point, I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda. Seconded by Councillor Turner. And you all saw the agenda ahead of time, so all those in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carried. Now, are there any emergency resolutions this evening? Go ahead. I'll get my co-pilot here to get going. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I don't know what falls under emergency resolutions, to be honest with you, but I got a message from Councillor Jim McKenna down in Glasgow today, and it's about the homeless situation. And they had a bridge burned on the Pioneer Trail last night, I think. But the homeless situation has kind of come to a head in Glasgow there, and it has to be moved, they think. So I was wondering if we could talk about that, or is that something you'd talk about in this situation or not? I don't know.
I think it would have to go on the agenda. You know, if we want to talk about it tonight, if half agree, we can do that. But I would think it probably should go on our regular agenda to be dealt with. You know, unless there's some reason we can't deal with it at our next regular meeting. But we can put it out for a vote, and I don't know what action we can take. But
well, what he was. It's a very long message, but what he was getting to was other municipalities besides the town of Glasgow need to, you know, he's asking for our assistance somehow or other, because this isn't just a town of Glasgow situation.
I can say that there's a study being done now by, I don't know the name of the group, but it was agreed to by all the municipalities at the mayors and wardens meeting here at one point, and so that study will be available probably before Christmas. That will shed some light on it, but it was certainly aimed at looking at how do we share the load, some of the homelessness situation in Pictou County, so the town of Glasgow is not bearing all the load, which I think is what he's asking for.
Yeah, that's what he's getting.
And that study, I think, you know, is going to be released probably, like I say, before Christmas. And there is a meeting scheduled for this Wednesday, although the weather may put it off, between the board at Viola's Place and the town of Glasgow, and I believe a provincial representative will be there as well. And these meetings have been held fairly regularly between the board and the Glasgow, so that's ongoing. But the one with the involving our municipality and the others, that study should be out, like I say, before Christmas, so maybe after that we'll have some more information to talk about.
All right, if that's what you wish.
But if you wish, we can put it to a vote, but I think it'd be better to wait till we had that information.
All right, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay, are there any other emergency resolutions? Seeing none, we'll move right along. Errors, omissions, corrections to our last monthly meeting on November the 3rd. Are there any errors, omissions, or corrections to those minutes? Any errors, omissions, corrections to those minutes? One last time, any errors, omissions, or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, we'll declare those minutes approved as presented. We have some correspondence there, thanking us for helping out with breakfast and backpack programs. It's always nice to hear from the schools. And at this point, very pleased to have a famous person with us, Sheree Fitch, whom I've known for many years, and she's here to present, as Councillor Bailey told us about at our last meeting, that this was coming on. Didn't know if he would be here, but glad to have you with us, Councillor Bailey. So Sheree, the mic should be on and the stage is yours.
There is no land of perfect child, there is no sea of ease, there is no candy apple trail, there's broccoli and peas. There is no suit of armor, child, there's arrows and there's pain. And when your heart is broken, child, stay strong and love again. There is no perfect person, child, not presidents or queens. There's only all us trying, child, to be human beings. I'm sure not perfect, and I'm not going to do this perfectly, but I am so grateful that you've given me the opportunity to speak to something that's really near and dear to my heart tonight. So thank you so much for welcoming me, and I'm looking around the table and thinking, thank you for serving your community. So if you don't know me, my name is Sheree Fitch, and I am a poet. I start with a poet. I'm a woman of faith. I am an educator and a speaker, and I talk a lot. And I love River John. So this is talking about the next chapter of the Dreamery. So slide 2, that picture, just to go back to that picture, that was the opening day of Mabel Merple's bookshop in Dreamery. Catherine Martin drummed us in, and there were 300 people and 3 pastures full of cars. And it was all word of mouth, no advertising budget. So slide 2. Many of you will remember that Mabel Merple started, I know Mr. Parker, that you remember this, and Ronnie remembers this. So what had happened, and just quickly, this is all rooted in the history of this, so I think it's important that you know where I come from. So I went into May's convenience store, and there was a red binder saying, help us save our school. At the time, I was helping a school in Moncton raise money to buy bricks for a school in Africa. And I went home and I said to my husband, how can I do this if I turn my back on the school in my community? Most of my career I spent in small rural schools as an educator and as a storyteller and poet and literacy person. So my husband looked at me, I said, I have to get involved. And we had just moved to River John. And my husband, knowing me, he said, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? I know you, you're all or nothing. This will be the next 3 years of your life. And I went, yes, I'm sure. And then he looked at me and I said, are you with me? He said, 100%. So at that time, we went to work and we tried to work on the hub model to save the River John School. Now, some people say we lost. I don't. It was a tie vote at the school board, and there wasn't one rural school closed after that, and some of them used our hub model to go on that we had developed. So I think that what I learned is what an incredible community River John was, and how parents love their children. So when the school closed, when we went to the last meeting of the school board, we came home, and my husband, who had driven us to all those school board meetings, I said, what do you do when everything's closing? Because the bank had closed, what do you do? you open something. And I said, I wish we had enough money to open a school or a little used bookshop in the village. And my husband looked across the road and he said, well, why don't I convert that old granary and we could have a little seasonal shop. And so that's how it happened. So it is very much rooted. And for 3 years, we had thousands of people wander our fields, read books, walk the labyrinth that we built in memory of our son, Dustin. And so many people told me that they felt something magical, something healing, something sacred, something joyful. And even though the bookshop closed in 2022, my husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2017. Same year we opened up the Dreamery. I wanted to close, or the bookshop, I wanted to close it, and he was like, no, we're going ahead. The Dreamery, the spirit of it has never left. Sorry. And it's been waiting, I think, quietly to bloom again in a new way. Gilles passed in 2024, so I'm just getting, this is a legacy for him. So yes, next slide. Okay, so it's a free, interactive outdoor sanctuary blending nature, creativity, learning, and well-being. Gardens that teach, a story behind every garden. What it is already, only maybe going to the next step. It is for families, it is for intergenerational. And I always want to say, think of it as a place where we intertwine all these things: gardens, art stations, storytelling circles, memory spaces, and places simply to breathe. It's not a commercial project. This is not a commercial project or a private project. Before Gilles died, he said, I hope you figure out something to do over there, honey, so we can keep sharing that property, because we work too hard to just do nothing. And of course I promised him, and I'm here because of that promise. It's a gift. I want to gift land. There's 147 acres there. I'd like to gift 30 acres of it and to have it continue. And when it closed, people have kept coming every summer, so I've been maintaining it. I've been maintaining the grounds and doing that since 2022. And so it does honor Gilles, who believes everybody needs a project, and my son Dustin, and all the people who came to the Dreamery and said that this place helped me. So that is something else that we all know sitting here, is that it's rooted in something bigger. What's happening in rural communities, we need places that support wellness and creativity and belonging and that intergenerational connection. So I love this line. A friend helped me with this. This will be a place where art meets heart, where stories meet soil, where children and elders can wander side by side. What it already did, only we want to keep it going. Okay, thank you. So the Dreamery has 4 simple pillars, and maybe this is a better way of explaining it to be succinct. Nature is a classroom where curiosity leads. So it's educational learning, and that's the educator in me. Create spaces for art, for writing, for music, and community projects. It did happen. An organization like United for Literacy came and held events there, and we collaborated on things like that. So that's the artist in me, the creator in me. Connect, a gathering place across ages, cultures, and experiences. I've worked all around the world in many cultures. Up north, diversity and inclusion is really important to me and reflects the values of both Gilles and I. And so remember, and that's the last one, quiet corners for reflection, healing, and hope. And I would call that prayer. Not everybody's comfortable with that, but I am. And but interfaith, people who just want their spirit refreshed. It's a beautiful, beautiful property, and it already does that. It already does. So these pillars came from listening to the community and to the land and to what people told me they needed and what they got from the bookshop and Dreamery before. Okay, so the next one. I think that this Dreamery can strengthen what Pictou County already is, what I know it already to be. When I lived back in New Brunswick, I had Norman Munroe's Pictou County on my coffee table for how many years, because I'd come here and worked in the schools. And my father used to say, why do you have Pictou County on your coffee table? And I said, I don't know, I think I'm going to end up there, and I did. So it's special to me. And I believe in cultural tourism. I know that because of my reputation as storyteller, and all the grandparents and parents had read my books, people were coming going, you came to my school in Lethbridge, Alberta. And so there is this I was taught that when you throw a rock in a pond and there's little ripples out, that's how we live. First it's our home, then it's our neighborhood, then it's our community, then it's our province, then it's our region, those are all levels of community. And I think that cultural tourism, we did bring in 8,000 people in a 9-week season every year, and that was phenomenal. So I believe that could continue. It offers unique programming for families and youth. It adds a meaningful wellness space. Again, nature heals, art heals, storytelling heals. It invites local groups, schools, artists, gardeners, elders to participate in new ways. Come grow a garden. Let's find out. Let's learn by planting a seed, that kind of thing. And it is a gentle form of rural revitalization, and it is grounded in imagination. And I know that people more and more are seeking out places like this. I know that they came, they lingered, they returned, and they brought others with them. So I just want to tell you quickly, anecdotally, that as Gilles declined and we closed the store, people kept coming in the summer. So I stayed in the house and would watch him go over and engage with people because I knew that social interaction was really important for him with Alzheimer's, and I knew if I went over, it was going to be all about Sheree Fitch. So I would watch him, and I'd watch him take them to the donkeys and the whatever. And after he died, I was so amazed how many people contacted me and said, we were there one day. You weren't there. I actually was peeking out the window, but and your husband did this, and your husband did this. And so they came, even with it closed. And so it has a magic to it, and it attracts people. So slide number 6, okay. Now that you've seen this, I hope the vision, it's been a year and a half of me trying to get my legs underneath me and try to figure this out. And I've had a team of really expert professional people who really, with years of experience, who knows how to do these things much better than I do. An accountant, a lawyer, a man who'd worked in nonprofit for years, and really supportive elders and wise people. And so that's why I'm here too, because of the generosity of those people working pro bono and saying, Sheree, we believe in your vision. So I want to share that what I'm really humbling asking of the council. You might be wondering, what are you asking of us? It's a simple request for your support. So next slide. This is just quickly a projected, and I'm not asking for funds, but this would be the bare minimum of what it would take in 1 year to run it. It's not a lot. If you want to go back to the slide before too, and sorry, I'll give you a chance to look at that after. I want the support right now as a community, the idea, the vision of it for community wellness, literacy, and nature project on the land. And it's meant to bring the joy and the reflection and all of this. So what I really want to ask is your openness to the idea, to exploring a collaboration on this small, on the very small little practicalities like ground maintenance that is in that next slide. So really, I'm asking you to walk with us and to begin what would be phase 2 of the Dreamery Gardens project. And I will be bowing out. I'm 70 and I have had health issues, and I will be there, and I hope somebody that they'll be asking, what about this? But I mean, I really see it as going forward, and they're thinking about nonprofit and that kind of thing. So if that makes sense to you, I've been told that this was a good idea to come and ask the community that I really want to give this to get your support. So any questions, I'm really, really, there's a poem that I have that says, if you were me and I were you for just a day or maybe 2, then maybe you and maybe me would see the me that you were too. You see the you I see you try to be never ever speaks to me. So if you knew the me I am, or I could know the you be, I think we would eventually discover we like broccoli. Yeah, we could form the broccoli bunch, invite each other out to lunch, share our little broccoli trees, cover them with melted cheese. But you pass me by without a smile as if I were a crocodile, then look the other way in case you see the me that's in my face. If you could wear my sneakers, you might have to plug your nose, and I could wear your shoes even if they scrunch my toes, then maybe you and me could see the us we never got to meet, the you and me that might have found more broccoli to eat. It's about sharing, it's about community, and it's about looking at each other through joining together in a place that celebrates nature and our community and learning. So that's it. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Sheree. I'm supposed to cut people off at 10 minutes, but I just couldn't do
Oh,
that.
I thought I was going to keep under it.
I couldn't
Sorry,
do
Mr.
that.
Parker. I'm sorry.
But now, I thank you for your presentation, and you're a great storyteller and a great rhymer and great in so many ways. And I remember taking my grandchildren out to Mabel Marples or whatever. I always get mixed up what word comes first. But anyway, it's great to have these type of places in our rural communities, because we need things in our rural communities that cause people to drive past all kinds of other communities or through other communities to get there. So again, thank you very much for the presentation. And does anybody have questions
I'd really love to answer any questions.
for Sheree?
Yes?
Go ahead, Peter.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
It's very nice. I just wonder, you said you're giving out 30 acres, was it?
Whatever goes forward, I up to 30 acres. There's 147 there. The 30 acres that I'm thinking, and that's a lot, like when I've compared to other garden places that, like sanctuaries like that, you do a lot in 30 acres. And so that's what I would, but those 30 acres would also involve where the barn is, where the bookshop was, where my husband's workshop was, and Mabel Marple's house. So those would be structures there as well. Yeah.
What would happen if it, like, down the road, we're not going to do it anymore?
So this is why I'm coming here tonight, because I want it to be sustainable. One of the reasons I think gardens are a good way to go is because they grow and they evolve and they change and they can be there for generations. But I'm very much wanting this to be sustainable from the get-go, and so whatever exploratory structure we find to go forward with, I think, to me, process is as important as product, as the end result. So I would want you all to be creative and coming to that conclusion. But good question, and I'm trying to think, well, that's not going to happen because we're going to find a sustainable way for it to go ahead. And, but it's a good question too. And again, I have family, and so, right, I would, a lot of the land will be for them, but I want the public to use it. Like the labyrinth we built for my son, people like that would still be my land, but that would be open to the public as part of the 30 acres too. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I guess I'm getting that it's land that you're going to make available to the community, but it would be land that if it closes, it would revert back to your family.
I don't know how all those things, I think that's why I'm here tonight, to say I've done everything I could. I went to Nature Trust, I've done all the exploration I could do, but when it came right back to it, like River John had our back during Gilles' 7 years, and when he died, he wanted donations to the River John Fire Department. And I'm vocal for local, and I really believe that you start in your own community. So I really do believe that this serves River John, but I also know I do have a national reputation. I go, use me before I'm dead. I know I'm not Anne of Green Gables, not Lucy Maud Montgomery, but I'm still writing, I'm still doing well, and I still have a reputation. And I feel like that's a draw. So while I'm alive and still kicking, I think let's get it underway, So if that makes sense too. I've been told this. This is people telling me, that's okay, Sheree, go for that, because it was magical, and we loved it. But it's going to take practicalities, and it's going to take a whole lot of people being open, I think, to a very unique, co-creative, collaborative vision of how you get these things done. It could be, a pilot project for many different places across Canada who might want to have story gardens and celebrate their local, like, in Bigney, where I live, where this is, Mr. Bigney was the strongest man in the world. That could be a story garden we're telling about Mr. Bigney. We can talk about Viola Desmond. We can have those gardens connected to our regional heroes and inspirational people. I can see it. It's very hard to get my vision reined in. So I know that I keep saying there's endless peaceabilities, and it's going to be what scale, what we get contributing. I mean, today I posted on Facebook that tonight I was coming here. I didn't say where I was coming. I was just saying I was going to present something. And within an hour, there were, 108 people saying, oh, tell us what happens. Like, they don't even know. So I know there's support. That much I know. And I think it's an employment opportunity. I think there'd be summer students that could be employed. Like, there's all kinds of things.
I wish
that
you all
make
the luck
sense?
in the world for
Thank
it.
you.
And to point out, Mr. Bigney was a relation of mine, so it's
Well,
been nice.
now there he just appeared, because I wasn't going to talk about Mr. Bigney, but that's a great story, right? Yeah, it is.
Okay, is there any further questions for Sheree tonight? And we'll,
Yes.
Ron, go ahead, Ron. Yeah. Are you on yet, or? Do you want to put Ronnie on? Soon to be, maybe.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Warden, and thank you, Sheree, for your presentation. It's always good to hear it. I think that may be the third time I went over, but it's never as good as when you present it. I guess just on one of the questions there that Councillor Boyles had, it will be, the land is Sheree's land that she's going to donate to a nonprofit.
Okay.
Now, how that agreement and the nonprofit is set up, I mean, if Sheree's got no aspirations in this of a bunch of work being done and then it coming back to her, that's never been part of the discussion. It is going to be owned by a nonprofit, and never how that wording of the nonprofit goes will be how it will turn if it doesn't solve itself out. But I feel that the time that we get going in phase 2, with the how well known Sheree is out there, not just Pictou County, Nova Scotia, Canada, and probably worldwide, the donations are probably go to Flores when we start to get them. So I don't think there's going to be an issue there, but I understand your point. And just on the finishing up, Sheree, I know I did this privately, but I want to congratulate you on your Writers Award that you got last week. It was the Matt Cohen Award, which was presented to Sheree in Ontario last week, which is for one of the top writers in Canada. And so belated, and even though I've done this quite a few times too, belated congratulations on your Order of Canada that you received last year. Both awards well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just want to speak to that. Those are things that have happened since my husband passed, and he was very much the reason why Mabel Merples happened, very much how I could continue. That award was for celebrating a life in writing, not a lifetime achievement. I'm expected to do more, but I feel that this is a project to honor him for everything he gave me and the community, what they gave him. So thank you, Ronnie. I always tell Norma, love thy neighbor. It's easy when thy neighbors are easy to love. So thank you very much for giving me this chance.
Thank you again for having, we like to have a famous person in our midst sometimes. Do you want to introduce us to?
Yes, I was going to say, so this is my son back here, Jordan, who came for moral support, and he'll give me feedback about how much I talk too much probably tonight. But he's the little boy that I started writing for. I was a teenage mom, and he was 2 years old, and I started, and then when his brother came along, he said, don't you stick your toes in your nose, and I took the words right out of his mouth. So Toes in My Nose was my first book. And let me tell you something, to live in a world of teachers, early childhood educators are my heroes. I want something where they can go and relate to it. They are the reason I'm Sheree Fitch, and so the literacy component is really important, the storytelling. And he's the reason I'm Sheree Fitch too. Jordan McCormick.
Thank you both for being here. Yes, the deputy warden just reminded me that we should have a round of applause for the awards that you won.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Councillor Dewar.
I stole my thunder. I wanted to say the same thing about you getting the Order of Canada and your other award too, and we should be clapping for you. But great minds think alike, but Diefenbaker said minds that think alike aren't thinking. So, anyway, I really appreciate you coming in here tonight. Just in the 10 minutes you spoke and how genuine you got my vote, dear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, all you can do is tell the truth. And this is the truth. It's a good story. It's actually, we said the day that we opened, and there we were, that's still there. I said, this is the place that love built. And it is. And you know, we need that in the world, and we need people like me who wear their hearts on their sleeve to say this is the place that love built. Love is a good thing. And it still exists in the
It's
world.
so important to get that message, Sheree, because what I mentioned at the first about this, you know, being a National Remembrance Day after what the terrible thing that happened in Montreal 36 years ago, we need some good news stories too.
We absolutely
we do. And you know that.
I do.
That we need good stories to balance out. If you listen to the news all the time, it's pretty one-sided. Not
Yeah.
a whole lot of good news stories on there, so we need some good news stories, and you brought us one tonight. And Peter mentioned about Mr. Bigney. Well, I'm proud that my and Dottie's uncle Roy Lambert lived in Bigney most of his life. So there's little connections here and there that count. So if there's no more questions, do I have something? Oh, go ahead, Ron.
Thank you, Warden. Just a question on Sheree's request tonight for our support. I think we've already shown that we are supporting this project by doing the tax receipts. Is that, or do we need another motion?
Brian question, I guess.
No, I don't think at this point.
We're good
there's
where
anything.
we're at.
Yeah.
Yep, good, thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, again, thank you very much, Sheree, and we'll be following up on this through our committees and whatnot, and when time comes in the spring to look at money aspect of things, we'll be there.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you again for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're going to move right along here. The next item on our agenda is the New Scotland Business Park Report. So you've had a chance to look at that. Are there any questions on, from Frank McFarland, the Business Park Report? Seeing none, we'll move right along then to our resolutions. The first, we have the first reading of the sewer bylaw. Who's presenting that? Go ahead, Councillor Donnie Parker. Just didn't have a name there.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I need a second here. Resolution first reading. Take notice that the following bylaw will be presented to council for second reading on January 12, 2026. Be it resolved, municipality of the county of Pictou adopt the following municipal sewer bylaw. Dated at Pictou, Nova Scotia, this first day of December 2025. Signed by myself, Councillor Donnie Parker, and seconded by Councillor Ronnie Bailey.
Second.
Okay, you've heard the reading of the motion for the first reading of the sewer bylaw, and we've gone over this in committee before, what the changes in charges and whatnot are basically what that entails. So do we discuss this tonight, or does it go to second reading before we discuss it?
It is open for discussion
Tonight.
as it is a motion, so
And then it will come back to us next meeting for
full
second
second
reading
reading
and
and-
whether it passes or not.
correct. But if-
Okay, so it has been moved and seconded, so I'll open it up at this point. If anybody has any comments to make on this changes to our sewer bylaw, but it will come up again at our January meeting before we vote on it. Any questions on it at this point? See none, so all those in favor? Against? Motion carried. And the second resolution on tax write-off for 589 John Munroe Road, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Warden. Be it resolved that the municipality of County of Pictou approve the following tax write-off, the same having been reviewed and approved by the Financial Service Committee. Count numbers 107799278 to the Antigonish Snow Dogs Snowmobile Association, $136.29. Dated at Pictou, Nova Scotia, the first day of December 2025, signed by myself, Joe McDonald, and seconded by Councillor Deborah Wadden.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, the tax exempt for the Antigonish Snow Dogs Snowmobile Association, Lot 17-1, Marshy Hope, Nova Scotia. So it's moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments on that resolution? Not seeing any. All those in favor? Motion carried. Okay, we're on to the FCM conference. Long ways off, but we part of our policy is to deal with these in our December meeting. That conference this year will be in Edmonton, Alberta, from June the 4th to the 7th. And it states there that, as we have in a long time now, we can send 4 counselors plus the warden can attend. And I believe we'll ask for how many, who might be interested, and if it's more than what we're allowed to send, then we'll have to, what do we do, draw the hat?
It depends who wants to go. People that have not gone to a conference during this term get priority over those that have already attended. So if you have a few people that fall into that category, they could be automatics to go, and then if you have people that are repeats, then you would have to draw.
And I believe Councillor Palmer has already put his name forward, because Randy couldn't be here tonight, so he did put his name forward. He didn't attend last year, did he?
No.
Okay, so I guess at this point I'll ask for interest, who's interested in going this year to Edmonton? And I see all kinds of hands. Do you want to write them down there? So Councillor Turner, Councillor Boyles, Councillor Thompson, Councillor Bailey, Councillor Wadden, Councillor McDonald. So I got to count as 6 there, I believe. No, there was nobody along the front here, was it? How many?
Larry had his name out.
Yeah, I got Larry, I think, didn't I, or not? You get Larry? No.
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, counting
It's
Randy.
Randy.
I didn't have it.
Councillor Palmer, Turner, Boyles, Thompson, Bailey, Wadden, McDonald.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Okay, and then how many of those attended in Ottawa, was it last year? Who all went to Ottawa? Well, I mean, just of the ones that, Councillor Boyles, were you the only one that, Councillor Donnie Parker was there last year, just the 2 of you, was it?
Myself.
And yourself, yeah. Okay, so I guess that means that Councillor Boyles gets dropped off, is that the way I'm reading it anyway, with, and we still have 6. 6, and we're only allowed 4. I will not be going as warden, so therefore you have 5 spaces. You have one that has to drop off, or we decide somehow now, maybe by the time it comes, that somebody can't go for other reasons, but we could keep that person on as the first backup, I guess, could we? If things happen in life, and you know, whether you get sick or somebody in your family gets sick or whatever happens, you may not be able to go, even though right now you're planning on going. How do we get from 6 to 5 then?
We usually do it the democratic way, and we put the names in a hat and we draw them.
Yeah.
1 through 5 go, 6 doesn't.
Unless somebody wants to drop out or be the
So-
fill-in person, but if not, then,
Yeah, and we can do that.
all right. Yeah, we have
We
lots
don't-
of time.
We don't have to do that tonight.
Yeah.
We can,
Be prepared,
be
and
prepared for
maybe somebody has second thoughts or something
So-
at that time too, but not trying to encourage anybody to have second thoughts, but I mean, that might change things. That's then, is that agreed to do it at the next meeting?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you all. Okay, now, let's, the next one is Councillor Wadden. And we did, Wayne and Brian and I did have some discussion on this, and that we'll let that come out during, I'm gonna let you go first, Councillor Wadden, and explain what you're looking for and why, I guess.
Yep. No, just with the municipal affairs were here, and they offered to do a session on strategic planning. I thought that would be really good to have prior to our get-together, usually in January, just to have some information on strategic planning, because I know I learned a lot from those fellows that night, so I did appreciate them coming out and then making this offer to do strategic planning. And then with the conflict of interest, it's always changing rules, and there's so much around conflict of interest now. I just thought they're two good workshops they could put on for us. It's a learning experience for us. So I was going to make a motion that we have them come out to, I think, a committee of the whole meeting. I don't think it's, the time frame for coming out to a regular meeting it's not there, so I'd prefer to have a committee of the whole for the.
Just before you make your motion,
Yep.
we did have some discussion earlier before you sent this in, probably, what, a month ago or 3 weeks ago, on having a session in January. We're just gonna call it goal setting, I guess, in terms of lack of a better name. But just to look at, okay, we're 1 year in roughly on our 4-year term, and to look at what are our main goals that we want to accomplish over the next 3 years. So this sort of ties in with that, if we, the strategic planning. So it's good that way. And we had looked at a date, was it, Brian? You remember the date? Or do you have it there? In January, we waited, do you remember, right?
I turned myself off. Yeah, so we looked at potentially doing it the first Monday, because we had moved the council
Move
meeting
the council ahead.
from that. So we had looked
What
at
date was that?
5th, I believe it is.
6th?
Do you mean
Fifth.
our get-together? I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
or do you mean inviting municipal affairs?
Yeah,
Okay.
we would combine it, you know, we were already planning on having that, and
Okay.
this kind of jives in with it, whatever you name it, call it, goal setting,
Yep,
strategic
sure.
planning, there's all kinds of others you can call it.
Yep.
But it is important, I think, that from time to time, we look after, you know, the monthly business here every month, whatever comes up we deal with, but it's important to look at the long term, and say, where are we heading actually, rather than just doing the housekeeping measures. So, no, I think it's a good, glad you brought it up, because, you know, we had that on the agenda anyway to look at here. So is that date, that's just a date we picked, because our council meeting's gonna be a week later than that. Is that date something that works for most people?
For me.
Because, I mean, it's awful hard to find a date that works for everybody, but maybe it's just because it's in the next year, it's hard to think of what you're doing. Okay, so we'll continue on then with that date of, was it January 5th or 6th?
We'll have to check with them first.
5th,
Yes,
yeah,
we'll have to check with.
we've got to confirm with municipal affairs
yeah,
whether they
that
could do it.
They can come then. So that's a Monday night. So that's something that's, you can count on, that we're going to be doing. And I don't know if it'll work to have conflict of interest the same time, or that would have to be a separate one maybe. It doesn't fit as part of the goal setting and stuff. Oh, is she on?
I was just thinking that it would be better to have 2 sessions.
Yeah, I think
we
so,
could just
because.
Put that one on the back burner until
Yeah.
we get this one, other one over
And
with.
there may be something else that we can combine with the conflict of interest.
They may say something that night that will tweak
Yeah.
another meeting with them, but it's just, if I had left them, I would have been afraid that,
They're traveling from Halifax.
Okay, Deputy Warden just reminded me, we should make that for 6 o'clock on that day, where they're traveling up from Halifax.
yeah.
You know, to not be too late heading back, I guess is some consideration there.
I just put it on here because I thought with the Christmas season on, yeah, I'd forget about it, so I want to make sure that I put it on before I get
No,
too far into the.
that's good, I'm
into the
glad you
session.
did. Okay, so we got that one looked after. You, Ronnie, had asked about those tax receipts before, I see it on here.
Yeah, so the deferred business Dreamery Gardens project tax receipts, the reason it's under deferred is just so we keep track of it, that the file is,
Okay.
we're working towards getting everything in place so we can do that. So that's all that's there for. It's,
We don't need to make any action
No,
on it
it's
tonight,
a-
it's already on the go.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's just a place setting or a place marker
Okay.
at this point.
All right, we'll move on to motions of reconsideration. Are there any motions of reconsideration this evening? Seeing none, we'll move right along to community announcements. Are there any community announcements for tonight? Must be something, Christmas is coming. Go ahead, Councillor Dewar.
I'm first.
Oh. Sorry,
Darla's
I was
first.
told Darla's first. I got her name on here first.
Thank you very much, Mr. Warden. So I just got a message when I was sitting here from Pictou County 4-H. And they said that they were trying to be here before 7 o'clock our meeting started, but it didn't happen. And they had dropped off this lovely basket for the counselors from 4-H, Pictou County 4-H. So this is from them, for all of us. So I thought that was very thoughtful.
Thank you to Pictou County 4-H for sure, and anybody listening on our other channels, thank you very much. 4-H is a very important organization, as we all know, in this county, and helps an awful lot of our young people get off to a good start in life. And I've had some of my children involved over the past, and one thing it does, it pulls the shyness out of people. You know, it's great at that. You learn how to do some public speaking, maybe even become a counselor someday. But it's, and I want to say a special thank you at this time for the leaders. It takes a lot of commitment to be a 4-H leader, and we have some great ones in this county, so I'm not going to name any for fear of leaving some out. But those are the ones that make it happen. Without the leaders, we would not have a 4-H program, and some of them have been at it for 40, 50 years, I guess, you know, and the commitment is always there every year, even if the numbers are low, and they are sometimes. They're like other organizations, they go up and down, but the leaders are always there if there's 4 kids there or 44 kids. So thank you to all those who helped make 4-H happen, and thank you for the wonderful gift basket. Okay, now we'll move along to Councillor Dewar.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I have 2 things. It's a community announcement. There's still no milk in the schools. So anyway, it was the 22nd of October when we got the letter from them that it was going to be there on Monday. Well, maybe we should shake them up a little bit more. After all, we are paying them pretty near $6 million a month or whatever to keep things going, or for the year. But anyway, I know it's not for the month, but it's a lot. But and the other thing, the really, really important thing, we're going to have the Christmas tree lighting in Hopewell on December the 7th, which is Sunday night at 6:30. We'll light the tree, and there'll be people there. Shirley Gray's going to light the tree this year. She's a very valuable person in our community, volunteer for a lifetime. And the candy canes are up and all lit, and they look terrific. And then we'll go inside the hall of the church there, and there'll be some refreshments, and I understand that Santa's going to be there too. But I wish they had a couple of more street lights for everybody could look at the sidewalk going from the Christmas tree up to the seniors, but there's already a lot of people speaking about it and how good it is, and our engineer was out and everything's all fixed up there, so a lot of people are happy. They got a small, well, they got a big Christmas present but it's something that is important to the community, and I want to thank council for supporting that all the last number of years too. But anyway, if you want to come to Hopewell, you'll certainly get it's Sunday night, so there's nothing spiked, okay? It's just apple cider and whatever else. But anyway, unless somebody drops something in it, I don't know what'll happen. But anyway, if some of you can be there, it'll be absolutely wonderful. And I'm just pleased to be able to say that the new Hopewell Recreation Committee has just been a wonderful, wonderful committee. They got everything rolling along good, and they're all volunteering. Usually they're getting the tree up this week or by Saturday. It's been up since a week, but it hasn't been turned on, and the power commissioner, the group of people that look after that, and it's just, it seems like everything's just going click, click, click. I'm waiting to hear the bang at the end of it, but anyway, I'm hoping it'll all work. And thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Councillor. So that's 6:30 on Sunday in Hopewell. Now, you mentioned, you know, the committee, and we've got a lot of committees of council here and committees all around our county. Tremendous amount. We always talk about our volunteers, but that's what makes it go quick, 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 is the volunteers who work so hard in all of our communities to make these things happen, and it makes life in our rural communities so much better. So I'm thankful to all of them. So I'm looking on the list here, and the next one is Joe McDonald. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Warden. Seniors outreach in Miramichi Community Center on the 8th and 15th, and then it'll switch to Lismore in the new year. And there's a Christmas concert, 6:30 on the 13th at Lismore Community Center, and the same night, trivia at Miramichi Community Center. Thank you.
Okay, lots going on down Joe's way. Now, who's next on the list? Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Warden. I have two announcements. First, on December the 6th, the Little Harbor Community Center and the Little Harbor Fire Department have joined forces to have Christmas tree lighting and a Santa Claus visit. And the children will be given treats and things like that to have a visit with Santa Claus. And the second announcement is that we're once again having the annual community Christmas dinner at St. George's Church on Christmas Day from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Tickets are free, but I just asked them to give my home a call so I can take reservations or get their names so we can plan for the number of meals we have to prepare for. Thank you.
And is that eat in or take out?
Both. Since
Both.
COVID, it's been eat in or take out, whatever they prefer.
Because I know during COVID it had to be all takeout.
Yeah, exactly. And I should say it's the 17th year for it, so
Pardon me?
it's the 17th year for this
17th year,
dinner, so
wow.
we're kind of excited.
Yeah.
that
And
Still
what
doing
date was your tree lighting? Councillor?
December the 6th
December the 6th.
at 5:15.
At 5:15, okay. And now we'll move on to Councillor Turner.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. This is also happening on December the 6th. It's the third annual Firefighters for the Food Bank food drive supporting the Pictou West and River John food banks. There's drop-off locations at the Pictou Fire Department, River John Fire Department, Scottsburn Fire Department, Abercrombie Fire Department, West River Fire Department, Caribou Fire Department, and Tony River Community Hall. They're looking for canned soups, pasta sauces, crackers, toothpaste, bathroom tissues, etc. So if you have anything extra in your cupboard that you can drop off, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Turner. And now I have Councillor Boyles.
Excuse me, I have a couple here. The first one, the District 9 is going to have a Christmas get-together on December 20th, 2 to 4 at the Community Hall for the anybody in the district. And then on just to mention that our music jams are going great. Lots of turnout from on Fridays from 6:30 to 9, and it's as I say, it's a big event for us. Thank you.
Okay, 6:30 to 9. Okay, is that, did I miss? Yes, I'll come back to that, but did I miss any councillors at this point? Okay, I'm going to call on Rhiannon at this point to speak about the family that supported for Christmas. Go ahead, Rhiannon.
So yeah, we just we had a call directly to us from actually a local MLA office who has connections with a local family that they have reached out, given our previous participation in a family with them in the past. They're wondering if there's any ability for us to potentially sponsor this family this year. So I'm bringing that to you guys tonight. It's a little later in the year than we normally would have it. So just wanted to let everybody know If we did decide to do it, it's not a huge family this year. It's a single mother. We have 3 small children with them, 3 small girls, and that's the family that's looking for support. So I really hate to turn them down. They're absolutely right up our alley of people that aren't qualifying for other programs. So I will follow up with an email out to the group, but just wanted to make you guys aware of that this evening, so I can either make a commitment to the office and let them know that we do have enough support to be able to attempt to fulfill that request, or that we're not able to, which I would be
We're not
very
going there.
disappointed.
We're not going there.
Yeah, I know.
But,
I know.
I thank you for bringing it forward,
Yeah.
Rhiannon, and this is something that we as counselors individually support. Is that right I'm talking about? This is not about council. This was something we as counselors individually support, and so you're the one to contact. You'll be sending an email out, you said, and we'll contact you, and at this time of year, I think we all want to be able to make sure everybody has a Merry Christmas, and sometimes it's difficult. Difficult for financial reasons, for health reasons, all kinds of reasons, but this sounds like one we should be behind. So again, thank you for bringing it forward. And just before we close out this session, what I mentioned at the first, I think both New Glasgow and Trenton are having walks. I'm not sure of the dates, so you'll have to look it up, but for the violence against women situation, to bring highlight to that. I can't remember the dates, but I know I got notice of it. I think they're probably this weekend on the 6th, but I can't say for sure. But I know they're at exactly the same time, but that's fine. There's not enough time on the calendar. If you look at all the things going on, there's always going to be overlap for sure, but that's fine. So if there's no other community announcements, we need to go in camera at this point to discuss a couple of items. And Councillor Bailey, you're going to be excused at this point. Yep. Thank you for being here.
I so move we move in camera.